Well, a big part of what's happening in the equity markets has to do with currencies. This week, tons of central bank decisions are due. So what are Forex traders watching for? Of course, we're going to turn to Bloomberg's Sara Eisen for an answer to that question. She's been watching the central bank decisions, the outlooks, and how that's going to play into this week's trading session. Sara?
Margaret, it's a huge week, and it could be a wild ride for the currency market. It's why one analyst tells me it might be a good week to stay on the sidelines. That's how volatile it could be. We have 4 major central banks scheduled to report decisions and outlooks. And the big overarching question here is it too early to withdraw stimulus and to start raising interest rates? And the answer is it really depends where in the world you are. The decisions this week, the flurry of central bank activity really highlighting the diverging policies between central banks and the diverging macroeconomic states of the developed world. Take Australia central bank scheduled to lift interest rates again tonight after becoming the first major central bank to lift interest rates. We've seen its currency really get a boost from that, rising about 29% so far this year. So while Australia is in this tightening monetary policy mode, Bank of England is expected to loosen monetary policy even further. So you can see the gap there. JP Morgan, for one, expecting the Bank of England to expand that quantitative easing program, pump as much as 50 billion more pounds into the system. So that's another bearish thing there going for the British pound.
You just got back from Europe. And what's the sense of where the ECB is and where are the Fed in this broader question?
Right. Well, I mean, the pound is weak. And in UK, they pay really close attention to that euro sterling rate. A lot of the British people have properties over in Europe, and they have investments in Europe. So as we hear more calls that the British pound is going to weaken further, they're worried about that rate, especially from BNP Paribas saying that the euro sterling is going to parity. Just quickly here on the ECB and the Fed, the key to watch is how much these central banks are going to talk about exit strategies, particularly the Fed. It could be key here to the dollar's fate for the rest of the year, Margaret.
And the dollar's fate very much linked to how the equity markets are moving, commodity markets. Thank you so much, Sara Eisen, for bringing us that.